alive mostly. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully good. Let's see. Let's start with the hellos. We'll see who's here. It looks like Quasimodo got the cookie. Good to see you, Quasi. Enjoy that cookie, by the way. And Hot Dog Pilot Andy got the half cookie. Oh, no crumbs for you. You got the actual half cookie. Good to see you here, Andy. And Train Man 1, Mickey, how's it going? Good to see you. Thomas Trains. Hey, Thomas, how's it going? And let's see, and we got Thomas Brassey. Tom, good to see you in here tonight. And let's see what else we got here. We got Willow Creek Industrial Spur. Hey, Willow, how's it going? And Joe Rader, Black Rock Central Railroad. Joe, how's it going? And Valley 56 XX. It's is it Chris, I think? I'm not sure. Yeah, Chris. I'm getting better with the names. I'm usually not good on names. Anyway, glad to see you here. And did I get everybody? I think I did. All right, well. Yeah, a little bit going on here. Hey, Anfield Road Layout. Lee, how's it going? Good to see you here. Dave BNSFN Scale. Good to see you, Dave. And I got something burning the shit out of my eye. Damn. I was spraying some of that spray adhesive earlier. Maybe I got some of that irritating my eye. I don't know. Anyway, what do we got going here? Let's see. I got some things going on. We're going to have a rant later on. Haven't had a good rant in a while. Actually have something to rant about. And you can see behind me right there. That's my city dump, the trash bags. I'm loading them up on it. I've got about only 300 to 400 on there already. The little trash bags. I got to print some more to get the slope on the front and the slope on the side. Actually, vice versa. And I got to glue everything in real good. I can pull the tape off, set it back there, and that's my garbage pile. And I have some other things I'm going to be putting in there. I've shown you the trucks already. Still haven't gotten the decals on them yet, but they're getting there. So, like I said, I've been really busy this past week. It's been tough to get anything accomplished. That and it's damn cold outside. I think it's, I don't know what the temperature is out there. It's probably down around 60 thereabouts. It got down to 42 degrees last night. Now, for Florida, that's damn cold. And Andy can smell it from here. Oh, the glue? Yeah. That's that, the good stuff, the 77. I picked it up. I picked it up yesterday from Walmart because I had to. That's part of my rant, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I was out of it, and I had to get more. So break out the parka. Well, no, come on. It's cold, but it's not that cold. I mean, I turned on the heat in the house this morning for about 5 minutes just to knock the chill out of the house because I woke up at about 8:45. And it was still 40, I think it was 46 or 47. So it was still pretty damn cold. Tom says it's 32 here in Jersey right now. Yeah, that's definitely cold. You'll be getting snow soon, probably, if you don't already. Hey, Curly Express, Dwight, how's it going? Good to see you here. Yeah, that's just, I tell you, everybody's getting slammed. It's going to be a rough winter, I think, you know. So much for global warming, right? Oh, that's right. It's called global change now, right? Or climate change, rather. That's all bullshit. So that's what I worked on that a couple of days ago, and of course, here's some. This isn't a rant, but this is the FEP film that goes in the Anycubic Mono 2. And you have to buy this whole thing because it doesn't really come apart. And if you do get it apart, you never get it back together again. And so they sell a twin pack. It comes in a little box. And I had 2 pinholes in this one. And fortunately, I have the screensaver under there, the protector, because it leaked underneath this. And of course, it would have ruined the machine had that screen protector not been there. $20 for 2 of these. So they're basically $10 a piece. I get them on Amazon. The way I said, the worst part is that you have to buy it because of the this is all plastic, it's flexible. But like my Creality, you just use a flat sheet and a steel ring, and you just screw it down, and it tightens it up. And this sort of does the same thing, but like I said, it's all self-contained. And I'm glad I bought an extra box of them because I used up my last one about 3 weeks ago. And I said, I better just get another box just because. And it's a good thing I did because otherwise I'd be screwed. So I just got that swapped out today. It's all cleaned out, ready to go for more printing. I have to print more garbage bags. So I'll probably start on that. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow because I got another crazy busy day tomorrow too. That's the way it goes. So anyways, that's my story on the printer, and I've been using that a lot. Matter of fact, I bought the first resin I bought that was black because I wanted to make the black bags as well as white bags. So I got a ton of black bags. I'm gonna make some more white bags, and I'll probably make another batch of black bags, and I should be done with the bags for a while, hopefully permanently. Yeah. Because I've got like the whole build plate's full of bags. So I think there's roughly 100 bags on each build plate. That's why I said I've done like 7 or 8 now. I'm not sure how much is on there. I don't count them, I just print them and knock them off and glue them on. So, well, I do the same thing, Dwight. I usually leave the resin in there, but like I said, I had a suspicion that, well, actually I had a print failure on one of the bags. It only printed like half the bags. So I took the vat out and dumped, screened it out and put it back in the container. And that's when I noticed the 2 pinholes. I'm going, I'm going to take a chance to try and make another print. And I did, and it came out. But he said it leaked a lot of, well, not really a lot, but it leaked some resin on that screen protector. It's because I've got extras of those too, because I had to replace the screen protector over the LCD screen. That's not you got to be so worried about. And all it takes, a print failure can actually cause the problem, which is weird because, I don't know why the prints fail. You're printing the same thing over and over again. It should not fail. It didn't fail the first time. It shouldn't fail the 10th, the 20th, or 50th. And yet, on occasion, it does fail. I don't know why. Dwayne said I had to replace that part too from poking. Yeah, you got to be real careful. Well, they say don't use anything metallic on the vat. Use the plastic scrapers. They're supposed to, and you should do it while it's on the machine. And actually, I got to thinking. Now, I think you have the same machine, don't you? The Anycubic. They all do this, but you can do a cleaning after the print. And basically, what it does is it creates a solid film on the bottom of the vat. Doesn't use all your resin, but just a tiny bit of a little, microscopic thin plate of it on the bottom. And if you were to do that after, say, 2 or 3 prints, empty the vat, pull that piece out, throw it in the trash, it'd probably protect the FEP film a little bit better. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm new to this too, so I'm not 100% on a lot of this stuff. I'm just kind of guessing as well. But for what I needed to do. It's been working fine for me. But like I said, uh, if you have one of these machines, and I think this is the only one in the Anycubic line, I think, that uses this particular FEP plate. Because I know the 6K, I think, just uses a film, and you could swap it out without that plastic piece, I think. But no, Tom Grassley would know because he's got the 6K, and well, he knows how to do it. But yeah, I know this is kind of easier though. There's no muss, no fuss. You know, I mean, you can't screw it up. You just set it on top of the vat, and start your 4-corner screws, and then put the rest of the screws in and just tighten them up, and you really can't screw it up. Where if you're doing like Creality that just uses a film, you could actually screw that up putting it in. It's not easy, but it can be done. So, you know, it just goes to show you where you're at there. But Thomas says, Jim, try reloading the file on the USB drive. Sometimes it gets corrupted. Yeah, that's possible, but like I said, it only did it that one time, and then after that it was fine. So I don't know. I'm saying it in theory. Well, I don't know. These USB drives, I know they have lifespan on them, and I should probably pick up a couple of small ones. Yeah, maybe like a 4 gigabyte or whatever, because they're really cheap now. You get them for $2 or $3, especially if you get them out of China. I should probably get a half dozen of them and keep them around because I've been using the same 3 that came with the machines for quite a while now. I mean, they're getting a lot of use out of them. So they're probably getting worn out. So that you may have a good point there as far as possible corruption. That's why whenever I do these, I always make a separate copy to keep in the computer. So if something goes wrong, I could just download it right back onto the USB drive without having to slice it again. Let's see, what else here? What else? Spike Man. Yeah, he doesn't go by that anymore, but I don't know. I kind of like Spike Man myself, but hey, you know. And speaking of Spike Man, he says, I finally finished my handmade wooden NC and STL 484 and it's scratch built. Cool. I saw the other ones you did. I saw the shorts. They're kind of cool, except that it would probably look a lot better if they actually had wheels on them. That's just just a suggestion. But I mean, you've actually done a really nice job on the bodies. Just that the fact that they're missing wheels kind of, I don't know, makes it look a little weird. They might want to work on that. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that previously on USB drives. Usually I'll do that if it comes up with an error when I plug it in, into my USB hub. Then it's time to reformat. So I haven't had that problem yet, except on, I think the other one that came with the Creality. That one, that's the oldest one I have, and I'm surprised it still works. I think I've reformatted that twice already. All right, Lee, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time. So, yeah, like I said, it's just, these printers, whether it's a filament printer or resin printer, they have their quirks. And you just kind of learn to live with them. I mean, it's just the way it is. If it, if it screws up once in a great while, it's not a big deal. If it does it constantly, well, then you have to address that. But I don't mind a failed print every now and then, as long as it isn't like a 10-hour print. Then I'd get a little pissed off just because of the resin waste. Or even on the filament printer, if you got I've had 8, 10, 12-hour prints on the filament printer, and right near the end, an hour before it's done, something happens, and it's like, oh shit, man, I just wasted all that filament, That's the only bad part about it. And Thomas says, Jim, does fuses burn out easily? It depends, I guess. Um, Depends what you got fused and whether you have the correct fuse or not. Or they said direct short will blow a fuse every time. If you're putting too much of a load on something, it'll also blow a fuse. In which case, you need to either go to a bigger fuse if the wiring permits it. In other words, if you have, like in a house, most outlets run a 15-watt breaker or fuses in the old days. You could put a 20 or 30 amp breaker in there, but you risk wiring fire because if there's a problem, it won't throw off until it's too late. So that's what you have. See, even in cars the same way. You know, I've seen guys put 30 amp fuses where it tells you to run a 10 or 15 amp, and then somewhere down the road they wind up having, you know, fire in their car from the wiring burning up because there was a problem and the fuse wasn't able to do its job properly. So it's just, that's what you have. Like, under normal circumstances, a fuse should last for years, if not longer. You know, assuming that you're not putting too much of a load on the circuit and that you don't have any shorts or anything like that. So that's kind of what you have to look at. And I lost my thingy again there. Why did we do that? Thomas says I have a Dremel tool and it has a fuse in the plug and I change it so many times it keeps messing up. Your Dremel tool has a fuse in the plug? Mine doesn't. You might want to get a newer or better Dremel tool. Because normally I've never seen one that was fused before. So you might want to look into that. Hey, Chasco, how's it going, Chuck? Good to see you. Yeah, that was an old thing they used to do in the old days. When I was a kid up north, we had to screw in fuses, you know, in the breaker, in the fuse panel. And I don't think we ever put a penny in there. That was dangerous, but I've heard of people doing it, you know. In a pinch it would work. But you know, if there was a serious problem going on that blew the fuse in the first place, you could start a fire real easily. So not a good idea. Now, fortunately, for cars now, I think anything that takes the glass fuses, they have ones that they're actually breakers, and they're self-resetting when they cool off. Those are cool. I had a bunch of those, and actually they got them even for the spade fuses too. And that's pretty slick, and they're kind of handy to have. They work well. So if you have a problem where your fuses aren't holding up properly, which means you're probably overloading it, but you can put these resettable breakers in, and it'll throw the breaker, and then after it cools off like a minute, it'll come back on, and you're good to go again. So, you know, they have stuff for everything nowadays. Thomas, mine is from the 70s. Yeah, that's old, man. I think it's time to get a new one. I'm surprised the brushes are any good in it still. I've had newer ones and I've had to replace the brushes in them, which are easy to do. They're right in the side of the body. So, but yeah, you know, they're not that expensive, especially the plug-in ones. I've seen them as low as, I think, $30, which isn't bad. You should probably think about getting a newer one. More than likely what's happening is your motor's worn out and it's pulling too much of a load, and that's what's popping the fuse. Let's see. Yeah, mine was too, Tom. I got the notice on my email. I'm thinking, well, damn, it only took them 3 days to mail it out, you know. So, I don't know. What about the resistors? There's no resistors in that. You're thinking of the brushes. They said the brushes screw into the side. They're replaceable. But if you got one that old, I wouldn't even screw with it. I would just buy a newer one. And some of the ones that come with accessories also include a set of brushes in case you do wear them out. I've got an extra set on mine. I think my Dremel's about 6 or 7 years old. And I got it in what, maybe 24. I probably got it around 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. My other one was a little bit older, and I fried it, you know, and no, I just tossed it and bought a new one. Plus, I have my rechargeable one here somewhere. Where the hell it is? This is kind of nice. My wife bought this for me last Christmas or my last birthday. I don't remember. And it's made by Dremel. It's model 7700. You can see that. And it's got the removable battery, rechargeable. Now, I did wind up buying a new set of batteries for it. It only came with one, and it lasted about 9 months, and then it wouldn't hold the charge anymore. So these are aftermarket ones. These are, they're not Dremel. But they hold the charge, and they're doing pretty good. And like I said, I got two with the charger. No, the charger I have the Dremel charger. And it works pretty good. And I use this more than I use the corded one because, you know, it's easy. I just go back there, and if I have to cut a piece of track or trim something, it's right there to do it with, so it works out pretty good. Yeah, I wonder about that, Tom. Is that the truth? Because they had to pay them? Maybe they had to make the damn thing. Who knows? Aren't telling. I'm going to have to repaint them anyway. Like I said, yours will be ready to go, but mine will have to paint blue and put a different decal on them, which is no big deal. I guess I'm getting like James from Dundas. I have two Dremel. Well, I got two as well. I said I got the rechargeable and I got the corded one. The corded one is nice when you're doing heavy duty work because this will run about 10 minutes on a charge. And then it starts dropping down. And I've only got two batteries, so. But if I'm doing a really complex job where I cut through steel or something, because I've got the cutting disc on it. I have other tools for it too, but the electric one is usually a lot easier and quicker to do it because it has more power. They both have their place. Raymond Anthony, 127, just got here early, man. There's no award for that, you know. Anyway, that's cool. Glad you're here. Gerald Stewart. Santa Stewart. He's here. He's got a big ho-ho-ho for all of us. Let's see. Oh, I'm getting a little behind here. Well, not too much. Yeah, I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas too while I got you all on here. I know it's close, but we got another week. And my next show is the day after Christmas. So, but I might be competing with Tom Stranger Thing because his would normally land on Christmas night, and he says he doesn't. I can't remember if he said he was gonna. No, I can't remember now if he was gonna do it the day after or not. Or maybe it was New Year's. I don't know. You'll have to check with him on that one. I don't remember. And Thomas says, I made a new boiler front and new handrails on my wooden engine number 576. And they were a pain. Wow, yeah, of course it is. That's tough work, man. But you know, as long as it looks good, that's all that matters. You remind me of Nathan DeLay because he was making all his out of soda cans. And they were cool, you know. And it was hard work, and he always had badges on his engine. Probably constantly cut himself on the tin. But he did a nice job on that stuff, and you're doing yours out of wood, so it's kind of the same concept, but different material. That's pretty cool, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Tom Grassi says, I'm going live on Christmas Day at 8 p.m. Yeah, Wednesday, so you'll be, well, that'll be good then. I'll catch you because I don't think Tom's going to be on Christmas Day. I'm pretty sure he won't be anyway. I can't remember. He said last night on the show what he was doing. I can't even remember. So we'll see. Anyway, so what else I got going here? So so I'm making progress on the city dump anyway. Now, unfortunately, Tom Grassi beat me to actually having it on the layout. But keep in mind, it was my idea. But I don't care. That's cool. And his looks really nice. He did a good job on his city dump. So I'm going to be doing mine a little bit differently, but it should come out just as nice, hopefully. I've got a pretty good piece of real estate back there for it. And when I get it all in place, I'll videotape it and I'll show it to you guys on a future show whenever I get it done. But I just thought it would be unique to do. You know, I figured all these garbage trucks and stuff. Well, what good is a garbage truck if you don't have a dump to dump the trash with? So, you know, that's what it is. But so anyway, we got that going, and let's see what else. Well, I showed you my big boy Lego look-alike engine that I got for Christmas gift. I started putting it together. I'm not showing any of it yet. I'll probably do shorts on it. There's five bags of parts. I'm on bag number 2 right now. 2 days I got into it. It doesn't look like much yet. So I'll probably do a short on it as I stage through it until I get it completed, and then when I get it completed, I'll probably even show it off on future show. We'll see. Tom Strange today. I was just talking about you, Tom. Are you doing a Christmas show, or are you going to do it the day after, or was that New Year's? I don't remember what you said. So, and Thomas says, mine's not completed. Yeah, no, I didn't figure it was. I knew you had more things to do. Well, we both do. Like I said, I got to get the compactors there. You have the incinerator. I'm gonna modify that incinerator you gave me, just to be a little different. And I've still got to make the actual trash compactor, you know, the machine. Of course, I'll give you the file for that too when I get it, or after I make it, if I'm successful, and we'll go from there. All right, you're doing it on Christmas after Sparky's show. So that's going to be early then? When is Sparky doing his show? I have no clue. Anyway, good to see you here. Like I said, I don't know what the hell's going on with half of this stuff. Is Sparky doing a giveaway this year? I don't even know. I haven't heard anything. I know Cousin Vinny is, because I already entered that contest. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think he's doing his drawing on the 20th, a little bit earlier before Christmas. So like I said, I don't know. I'd imagine that Sparky will do something. You know, he always does. I just haven't heard anything yet. Okay, Sparky's doing 12 to 4. You'll do an extended one with Christmas music like I did the past. Okay, that's cool. Oh, good. I'll catch that then. So, and I can still catch Thomas Grassi doing his Wednesday show afterwards, because his is at, what, 8 o'clock, I think? So, that'll work out pretty good. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because, you know, money's tight, and I don't know, they may have some issues anyway, because as far as I know, the mail is still on strike in Canada. I know you can't ship nothing up there right now from here, and I doubt you can ship anything from there to down here either right now. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. No, Vinny's not doing train stuff. It's all model cars. model airplanes, model ships, and some surprise thing he's got. And you get to pick what you want when you enter. The only thing I'm really interested in is the cars, because I plan on building more model cars throughout the year as a sideline. But he said a lot of people, most of the entrants actually picked the surprise package. So who knows? I'll be interested to see what it is. But I'd rather just stick with something I know. Okay, Sparky's not giving away anything, but we'll have guests that do the giveaways. Okay. Well, that makes sense, because like I said, nothing's going in or out of Canada right now. I've got an order for James Galton that I can't ship up to him because their mail's down. And from what I understand, USPS won't even ship anything to Canada right now until they resolve their problems up there. So it's kind of a big mess. I don't know what they're striking for. More money, less work. Who the hell knows? I think it's kind of bullshit though that services like that, which are kind of necessary, that the workers go on strike. It just doesn't seem right. Tom says yes, Canada's still on strike. I was helping James on NCEEB1 problem he was having. Suggested he send it in for repairs, but he told me mail is out still. Yeah, it's all down. Like I said last I heard, I don't know when they're going to fix it. Not till they become the 51st state. That was funny that Trump suggested that. I guess a lot of Canadians are pissed off about it too, because he made a fool out of Trudeau, Fidel's son. He said Trudeau could be the governor of the 51st state of Canada. Me personally, I think we got enough on our plate. We don't need Canada, and we damn sure don't need Mexico. I mean, there was talk that we could even buy Mexico. Why? We got enough on our plate now. We don't need to buy any countries out if they're connected to us. So I don't know about that, but it's still funny though. So, what the hell? You know what? Let's do the rant. I want to do the rant, so here we go. Is it time for a rant? It is time for a rant. Now, to be fair, some of this is my fault, but there's still a design error in these cans. I bought this about 8 or 9 months ago. Used it once. It's full. Probably got that much glue in there, right? Can't get it out. I thought maybe the cap was just bad, so I actually swapped that with a cap that I actually knew worked, glue. That's in here. The problem is here, I can't fix it. I've tried poking it and cleaning it out. I don't know if it's solid all the way down the tube or what. But this is now garbage. Now, if you're going to make big cans like this, they should have they'll tell you to, turn it upside down and give it a couple of shots to clear it. Well, I did do that. I do that on every one of these glues. It didn't work. $13 sitting here, total waste, and it's going to go in the trash. There's no way. I mean, I could poke a hole in it maybe, but, well, that's going to make a big mess. And I don't know if I want to do that anyway, just because of the mess. But, yeah, it's glued shut, Tom. No doubt about it. Can't they come up with some way to have a self-cleaning cap on it? I mean, now I've used the 77, the good stuff. What is that? Where is it? This is the Scotch brand. All right, now this stuff works good. And I've never had a problem with this clogging up on me. And I do the same thing. Upside down, 1 or 2 shots, clears it out, and it's good to go for the next time. And the only reason I bought the Gorilla brand, which is the one that screwed up, is because that was all they had at the time. They were out of the Scotch, so I said, well, Gorilla can't be bad. I used the other super glue that they have up here. The Gorilla super glue. I have no problem with this. But I'm all pissed off because look at it, threw away $13 plus tax. And it's full. And I can hear it, and the ball works and everything, you know. But nothing comes out. I'm not happy. I mean, if you're going to make sure, now obviously it's got something to do with the brand because the design is literally the same as the Scotch 77. And that one doesn't clog up as long as you turn it upside down, you know, clear it once or twice. And they tell you to do that on all of them. I had another can I just finished. This one here. This is made by 3M too. And I think I bought this like 3 years ago. Maybe 4, almost 4 years ago. And I just now finished it. Matter of fact, most of what I did on the city dump bags was out of this can. Never had a problem with it clogging up on it. And like I said, it's all basically the same design. But I don't know what it is with the Gorilla. It doesn't work the same. So I will never buy the Gorilla spray glue again. You only get me once on these things. You know, it's not a bad, hey, real artist, how you doing? Good to see you here. Hey, Chuck Schreiber, how's it going? Let me back up here a minute. Let me cover this first. So the real artist said, guys, email the company with your concerns. Might get 1 or 2 in return for your... Yeah, you know, I forgot about that. We used to do that in the old days with foodstuffs mostly, you know. You got bad food or had worms in it or something, you know, or other bugs in it. You'd call the company, they'd send you coupons for, you know, back in the day, they used to, you know, give you a case of shit for one bad product, you know. And I don't know if they'll do that now, but that's a good idea, though. I've got the information on the can, I believe. I don't know if it's got the... Well, I'm sure I could find it. You probably just type in a search for Gorilla Glue Company. That's a good idea, though. I'm going to do that. Thanks for that notable suggestion, real artist. Appreciate that. Gerald said soak the nozzle in acetone. Then I have to go buy acetone. I don't want to buy acetone. That sounds like it might work, though. You never know. It's possible. Yeah, I'll get it sorted one way or the other, I suppose. And Gerald back up a little bit, said, I got a box of Bachman NS Norfolk Southern Gray Easy Track, or just NS Gray. 41 curves, 18 straights, one right, one left manual turnouts, 2 end bumpers, 2 cross tracks, 90 and 60 degrees, 1 re-railer, 2 power wires. And where did it go? At the hobby shop for $15. Holy shit. Man, you got the deal of the century. That's not bad at all. Hell, yeah, I don't know, probably the re-railer and the 2 manual turnouts are probably worth $15 or more. So you came out looking really good with that, man. Good deal. Alrighty. Nail polish remover, yeah. Well, same thing. Acetone nail polish remover. I don't have any of that stuff, and you know, Deb doesn't actually use nail polish. The smell of it really, I don't do well with it, you know. It's what is it? You know, that's another reason too. I kind of don't react well to acetone. I used to back in the day, but I'm almost allergic to it now. It's weird. Uh, Tom said I had a bad panel on a Foss model. Doug sent me a new kit, a DVD, and a lollipop. Well, the lollipop made it worth right there. Yeah, once again, that was a good deal. Well, a reputable company will stand behind their stuff. So we'll see. I'll do that. Matter of fact, I'll work on that tomorrow. Because like I said, it just sucks that I lost that much money. And I said I haven't even had it that long. So, Real artist says acetone fingernail polish remover, essentially what he got to lose. Well, like I said, I don't do well around that stuff. Probably why my wife doesn't do it, because she knows it really, I have a hard time breathing around it. I don't know what it is, but when I smell acetone, that's the key ingredient in it. It's very difficult for me to breathe, so I tend to stay away from it. Tom says, Jim, soak the nozzle in nail polish remover. Your wife has to have that. No, she actually doesn't. She doesn't paint her nails, because her daughter used to paint her nails, and I made her go outside and do it because it couldn't be in the house. It would stink up the whole house, and I'd have a hard time breathing. So Deb knows that, and I think that's one of the reasons why she doesn't do it. Carolina Foothills Railroad. How you doing, Carolina? Good to see you here. And Daryl Hamill. How you doing, Darren? Gerald says, I got acetone at Dollar Tree for $1.25. Yeah, the stuff's cheap enough. Didn't know that, sorry. Yeah, that's no big. Yeah, I said same with perfume. I can't be around perfume either. You ever been in the store, you're walking down the aisle, next thing you know, you hit a wall? And for me, I literally can't breathe around it. I mean, some of these women, I swear they dump like a whole pallet of this shit on them, thinking they're going to smell better, and it's really disgusting. You shouldn't be able to overtly smell perfume. It's supposed to work on a subconscious level, where your nose smells it, but not really. I can't explain it, but most women don't understand how perfume is supposed to work. So they get this shit, they think it smells good, and they dump it all over them, and it really doesn't. And I've been in rooms where I literally had to leave the room or ask the woman, could you please leave? Why? Because you stink. I can't handle it. I can't breathe around you. And they get a little offended by it, but, somebody needs to tell them, because I don't think they know otherwise. And it's funny because up here, I don't know if anybody anywhere else, but here in Sebring, all the doctor's offices have rules against perfume on the women, actually on anybody that comes in. There's a sign right outside, please do not use perfume on these premises. And it maybe some of the doctors and the nurses, they have the same problem. I don't know. But it's kind of a good thing, because I've been in doctor's offices, man. I gotta tell the fucking reception, I gotta leave, man. Why? It's because somebody here stinks and I can't deal with it. It's not a bad stink, but it's just something about that perfume, whatever they're wearing, that literally cuts off my ability to breathe properly. It's fucked up, I know, but it is what it is. And Tom said, I can't go down the aisle with detergent and cleaners. Forget about scented candles, Avon perfume. That's another problem too. We don't get any scented dishwashing detergent or dryer sheet. It all has to be unscented. My wife made the mistake of using some fancy smelling detergent on the sheets for the bed. I climb in bed, it's like, I gotta get out of here. I made her change the sheets, put on something else, because whatever you're using, you got to stop. Well, I spend money. I don't care. You should know better. Yeah, what the hell it is? It's just weird. Tom says, my pulmonologist has that sign. Yeah, it might be common in all the doctor's offices. And I don't really want to downgrade anybody or berate anybody, but I know older women, like women over 60, tend to really throw that shit on. Like, I guess they think they stink otherwise, but they really don't. I have a poor sense of smell anyway. I could step in dog shit and not know it, because I don't smell it. But Somebody cracks open a bottle of perfume, well, I know that shit right now, It's weird, I realize, but it is what it is, My ex-mother-in-law, late ex-mother-in-law from my first ex-wife, she used to wear this shit. It was real expensive, too. And I swore she put on the bottle. Every time because she'd invite us over for dinner all the time. Me and her daughter. And I'd go over and I said, I finally just thought, Rosemary, you got to stop wearing that crap. What do you mean? I said, well, the proper way to wear perfume is you don't overtly smell it. It's supposed to work unconsciously or subconsciously. She had no clue. She was mad at me for a while because, I kind of insulted her, but look, this is for my health, and trust me, you don't smell good with all that crap all over you. So she finally did stop using it. You're only supposed to a dab here and there, You're not supposed to just dump it all over, spray it all over yourself. Gerald says, when I worked at Sears in the mall, a couple of older ladies would walk by the cashier station and all of us would gag for a while. That's what I'm saying, It's bad. Hey, Sean's Pennywise with Miser Road. I haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you here, man. Rail Artist says, my wife used to work with Avon as the leading representative in the area. I hate that crap. Yeah, that's true, though. My mother used to sell Avon, too, back when I was a kid. And fortunately, I think even my dad didn't like half of that stuff because she wore it for a while and then all of a sudden she stopped wearing it. He must have said something to her, Gerald says, I think they get that perfume at Walmart for $10 a gallon. Yeah, maybe. Joe Raiders. My mom used to use about a 55-gallon drum of Avon. Now, what did I start here? And Sean says, we have no perfume cologne policy at work. I know a lot. I was saying the doctor's offices, and I'm sure other places, and I'm sure it's for the same reason, because unfortunately, most people who wear perfume or cologne, they just don't really know how to use it. You're not supposed to smell it. If I put cologne on, you smell it for a second, obviously, but you shouldn't put on so much that you're literally a walking wall of perfume or cologne. It's not supposed to work that way. It's supposed to work, it's like pheromones, Natural pheromones you really can't smell. The opposite sex can, but not overtly. They subconsciously smell it. That's what attracts them to some men over others, based on their natural scent. So, Yeah, thanks, Jim. It's good to be in here. Well, that's cool. We're glad to have you here, man. ACHB Railway. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Why are we talking about perfume? I hate this stuff, by the way. Not that I can smell anything anymore. Did you get the jab, did you? See, I didn't. I've always had a poor sense of smell. On most things anyway, but like I said, perfumes and stuff, it just, boom. And I think it's probably because when I was younger, I was a painting contractor. I owned a company for a while after my dad gave me his company when he retired. And I did a lot of spray painting. I wore a mask, but I never protected my ears. And I have nerve damage in my ears from the oil-based paints I used to spray. So it's very possible it could have actually hurt my my sniffing sensors too. Who knows? On the other hand, it is somewhat better than an overly stenchy color. Well, I've been around people that stunk so bad. We had a guy like that in the golf course. He wasn't Mexican, but he was from South America, and I swear, everybody complained. I didn't, but everybody else complained because they had to work with him all day long. And finally, my boss drug him in the office. I had to attend. I don't know why. And my boss actually bought a basket full of perfumes, soaps, deodorant, all kinds of shit, and gave it to him. And he says, sir, you need to take this home. You need to utilize them because, frankly, some people are offended by your odor. I guess he didn't realize that he stunk because when he finally started using that stuff, he came back in and the stench was gone. But I mean, it was nasty, man. You know, I can't even describe the smell. It was so bad. No lifelong sinus issues. The meds have eventually killed my sense of smell. You know, I wonder if that, because I'm on medications too, blood pressure medicine and uh, blood thinners and stuff. I don't know. Who knows if some of the side effects maybe it affects your olfactory senses. Who knows? I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Gerald says when my mom sold Avon, she left the box on the rear window shelf, but exploded in the heat of the sun. That Catalina stunk for 10 years. I'll bet it did. You know, I was in a garage sale. It was a long time ago, probably 15, 20 years ago. I don't know if you remember, they used to have the designer bottles of cologne and stuff. They had like the old car, like a, I don't know what the hell kind of car. It was an old car, from like the 30s. And they had all kinds of weird bottles. They were designer bottles with their cologne or perfume in them. Well, they had these things. They were empty, mind you, but they still had the lid on them. And believe it or not, I just out of curiosity, they were probably 20 years old at the time. I cracked the thing up. Jesus Christ, it still stinks. What? That odor doesn't go away ever. That's bad, but funny, you know. You had all? I had a couple of them. I don't know what the hell I did with them, because that's what my mother used to buy me that stuff for Christmas. So when I was younger, teenager, the first one I got was the car. I can't remember what the hell the other ones were now. Didn't they have a motorcycle too, I thought? Maybe, I'm not sure, but they had the car. I can't remember what the hell the rest of the things looked like. It's been so long. But that was a big thing back in the day, Remember Soap on a Rope? I had one of those too. Those were real popular back in the day. Yep. Yes. Uh, thank God we got past that shit, huh? And I was always the opposite. I didn't like colognes. I mean, I actually wore a little bit of it at the time, and like you said, it just seemed like more of a hassle than it was worth. And I did better with the women without all that crap on than I did with it on. So, like, I just really didn't use a lot of stuff, if anything. I never used underarm deodorant, ever. I really didn't sweat that much. And I just felt after what I found out what they put in that deodorant, I think it's, aluminum oxide and all that shit. Those are all carcinogens. I don't need that shit, Wild Country Soap on a Rope. I think I had that one. It was a big old thick piece of rope too, and it was about 2 foot long, and this big ass bar of soap on the end of it, hang it on the shower when you're done. Hey, it is what it is. I don't even know if they still make that stuff, to be honest with you. Now I'm using that what the hell is it called? You see the guy on TV was doing that for a while. Son of a bitch. They're square bars. They're all natural. I can't remember what the hell they're called now, but my wife started buying them for me, and they don't last long, and they're kind of pricey, but they're nice. They have all kinds of really cool scents on them. They got, what is it, Canadian rum or some fucking thing, and they got all these different scents, but they're not overpowering. So you really can't smell them when you wash, but they're really nice, though. Let's say you don't drop your soap in the shower in jail. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've never had that problem. I mean, never took a shower in jail. Never been in jail long enough to have to worry about it, but that's a disturbing visual, man. So, anyway, rant over, And it all started with the Gorilla Glue. I don't know how do we go from Gorilla Glue to perfume? I have no idea. But, so anyway. Squeal, yeah. Squeal like a pig, boy. Remember that, Deliverance? I saw that movie once so long ago, I don't remember much of it. But I remember that part. And Joe said, that's where I met you. Ha Shame on you, Joe, for even suggesting such a thing. Funny, though. Sean says it's a change from talking about food. Well, that's true. But we talk about all kinds of crazy shit on here anyway. It seems like there's no topic that's off limits, it seems like. There you go. Just a joke. That's fucking funny. Uh, so anyway, I finally took care of my ant problem in here. I bought a 4-pack of these. Raid Fogger. You know, it's funny because I got a camera in here, you know. So I set it off like at the end of the day and, you know, turned off everything and locked up and went and looked in the monitor in the house, and all I could see was it looked like a thick fog. You couldn't see anything in here. It was like that for about an hour and a half. I go, well, shit, ain't nothing gonna live through that crap. When I came back in here the next day, because I had to leave the door open for 30 minutes, I could barely smell it though, you know, the residue. There was one palmetto bug that was dead. Probably about a dozen ants, carpenter ants that I saw. I think most of them are under the fridge. I'm sure they're all dead. And nothing else, and I'm really surprised. I thought there'd be more critters in here. I had 2 lizards living in here. I don't see them anywhere. So I'm assuming they probably escaped somehow and weren't killed, because it should have killed them too. You know. It was kind of interesting though. And that's a tiny little can too, and it really fogged the place up. But hey, got the job done. That's all that mattered, you know. I think this was the second time I did that. What the hell's going on here? I gotta get a haircut too. Tomorrow, I'm getting a fucking haircut. I wanted to do it today, but I was so damn busy today I couldn't get. I had a bunch of errands to run, and I didn't have time to even get a haircut. Well, tomorrow I'm definitely doing it. Sean says, I have an uncle problem. Will that stuff work on them? I think that stuff will kill anybody, to be honest with you. There's all kinds of warnings on it, you know. Make sure all pets are out of the house. You know, anything you don't want to die, get it out of the house. And if it kills your pets, it'll probably kill people too, you know, I imagine. I mean, even when I first cracked it, you know, because you got to set it and get out real quick. I mean, it's nasty smelling shit, man. But, hey, it did the job. That's all that matters. And I lost my cursor again. Did it make your... No, it doesn't leave any residue. Which is weird because it has a lasting effect. It's supposed to keep things clean for 3 months. But it said leaves no residue behind. So the rails were fine. Because I was concerned about that too. I figured, well, I'll clean the rails if I have to. But it really didn't. I was surprised. Well, I ran the trains right afterwards, and they ran fine on the track. The only reason I'm not running them tonight is because I've got this thing that's on top of the rails, and things are all in disarray again, as usual. Raid fumigators work the best, no residue. Yeah, that's true. They really do, because I had the Hot Shot before. I had 2 boxes of them. I don't know where I got them from. I didn't buy them. And they left a lot of shit behind. I mean, it was real oily and stuff. I never used that in here. So like I said, I like the Raid. And the Raid was cheaper, believe it or not. Which is also weird. Usually something works, it costs more, right? No, not this time. Of course, like I said, they're small cans. The Hot Shot cans are about like this. Or my finger is. They're a lot bigger cans. And there's very little in here, and this thing, it kills everything. Spiders, fleas, ticks, cockroaches, ants, uncles probably, water bugs. I mean, it kills like 50 different types of insects. So it's like, I always have no spiders in there because I haven't seen any balled up spiders in it anywhere either. But then again, I really do keep this place, even though it's in disarray most of the time, it's still basically clean. You know, I don't have foodstuffs laying around or anything like that. Um, I do eat my lunch in here, but there's usually nothing left to attract bugs, so, you know, I don't leave empty cans of soda out or anything like that. So, you know, like I said, I keep the place very clean. Gerald says if it breathes, it dies. There you go. Well, even if it doesn't breathe, it still dies. Kills everything but stink bugs. Well, I've never had a problem with stink bugs anywhere in the house or in here. We had them back in Naples, but they were always outside. Never got them in the house. I know they tell you don't step on them because then they really stink. But we know he said they were never a problem in the house, so guess I got lucky in that respect. I don't know. As I said, I don't like bugs anyway. I mean, I'm not like freaked out by them or anything. I just don't like them, you know. Uh, I won't tolerate them in the house at all. I mean, you know, we had the little sugar ants or piss ants, whatever you call them, in the main house when we moved in, and they were literally everywhere. You know, of course, the squatters that were living there were probably pigs anyway. So I went ahead and I hired an exterminator, and we were getting the place done every couple of months until they got stupid and I had to fire them. Actually, they fired me, but uh, but even then, we haven't had a problem in there since. I mean, you know, I'm pretty strict about, you know, food. No food in the bedrooms, you know, because, you know, my wife likes to bring food in the bedroom now. That's a big no-no. Uh, you know, that's what the kitchen table's for. And I mean, it drives her nuts because I'm really rough on keeping the kitchen clean. I like the clean kitchen, and, you know, she doesn't feel exactly the same way. So I said, you know, if you leave food out, you're going to get bugs. You know, so the way to not get bugs is don't leave food out. Very simple, you know. Sean says we had a lot of stink bugs up here in Canada this year. Oh, that's bad. That sucks. Yeah, I know. Well, he can eat the fucking bugs. I'll eat a steak. Thing is, he wants to eat the steak and let us eat the bugs. Somebody needs to take that motherfucker out anyway, to be honest with you. I just don't give a shit. He's wanted that was it Norwegian or someplace overseas. There's an arrest warrant out for him. And they're probably looking to terminate him, you know, to execute him because he's being charged with crimes against humanity over the COVID shot, you know. And he's guilty of a lot more than that, but that's what I said. The best thing they could do with him is just hang him off the nearest tree. Sean says, if it's chocolate covered, I'll eat it. Well, you can have your chocolate covered ants or crickets or whatever. I ain't eating them. I like real food. C&L Lines, Curtis, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. And Merry Christmas to you too, sir. Whipped cream in a can, only in the bedroom. Well, I guess, yeah, if you're into that sort of thing, that's okay. Thomas said, Jim, I won't get anything from you until next year. That's true, you won't. You know, I'm getting, I guess I'm getting worn out or something because, you know, I do the wise guy videos on Rumble, and I generally do one almost every day, except for Thursdays. And I just did one a few days ago. I think it was last Friday, Saturday, I don't remember. And at the end, I said, look, I'm going to go on a hiatus for a while. I'm probably going to take a month off from doing any more wise guy videos. I'll see you in a month, you know. Problem is, I'm not getting anything else done, you know, and that's only one issue where I also have, like, I'm doing a lot of printing for other people. And when I'm done with it, which I'm just about done with anybody else's stuff, I'm going to stop doing that for a while too, because I got to work on my own shit, you know. And the more I do for everybody else, the less time I have to do for myself. So I'll be slacking back on a lot of things, I guess, in the near future. Just the way it is, you know. Sean says, come take our Fearless Leader out. Which one, Biden? Somebody needs, yeah, well, I gotta be careful what I say on here. You get the idea. Curtis says it's too cold. You're damn right it's too cold. That's why I got the heat on right now because it's so damn cold outside. In here though, the heat's cheap. In the house, not so much. I fired up the fireplace though once already. I'll probably do it again in the coming months because we're going to have some cold spells. It's supposed to. My neighbor says it's supposed to warm up for 3 or 4 days, starting tomorrow, I think, and then going back to cold again. So we'll see. You know. Raymond says Polar Express hot cocoa sounds good. Yeah, it does actually. Thomas says I'm not changing my name. I don't want my ass kicked. You know I'm just messing with you, right? I mean, I'm not driving all the way up to Kentucky just to kick your ass. You'd have to do something really, really bad to get me to do that, and that's assuming I could do it in the first place. Because my ass kicking days are behind me. I just shoot people now, you know. So. Gerald says we got down to 32 degrees last night. Well, it was colder than here. Here I said it was 42 or 43. And that's cold enough. But 32 is even really, I mean, who needs a refrigerator or freezer when you got 32 degree weather, right? Just throw everything out in the front yard, you're good to go. Well, in theory, anyway. But I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to get colder. Yeah. He says it's 62 now. That's not too bad. I don't know what the hell it is here. I got my thermometer outside, but oh, there you go. Just showed up on it. It's 57 degrees here right now. So we're actually colder than you, Gerald. And you're in Texas, so you should actually be colder than us, but apparently not. That's true, Sean. The iguanas will be dropping out of the trees. They had that problem last year, not here, but they were down in Lauderdale. There's a lot of iguanas down there, wild. And they said they were just falling out of trees, and people were picking them up and throwing them in the back seat of the car, thinking they were dead. And of course, as soon as they warmed up, they came back to life. You know, they went out of their hibernation and they trashed the inside of the car. Yeah, sorry, but sometimes you just can't fix stupid, you know. Hey, GRE 2057, how's it going? Good to see you here, man. He says, got to 10 above last night in central Michigan. Whoa. It's currently 11 degrees right now as I type this. Now, my stepdaughter's in Michigan, somewhere down on the, I think about the middle of the state, but on the right-hand side, the east coast side of it, near the lakes. I haven't talked to her, but I imagine it's probably just as cold, if not colder there. ACHB says we're at -6 Celsius or 21 degrees Fahrenheit here, just north of Toronto. Yeah, that's fucking cold too, man. Yeah. And snowing quite nicely. Yeah. You guys, I don't know if you ever heard it, but I haven't heard it in a long time. Several years ago, it was a funny thing. The guy was talking, you know, it's like a radio station show, and he's saying, you know, first day in Florida or first day in New York, because he moved up north from down here. His first day up in New York or New Jersey, wherever the hell it was, he said, got our first snow day. I'm so excited. We're going to have a white Christmas. Well, about a week later, 2 weeks later, it's still snowing. And this guy's got a bitch. He says, I hate the snow. I'm moving back to Florida. You'd have to hear the whole thing, but it's really funny. Tom Grasky says it's 29 here in New Jersey. Yeah, that's fucking cold, man. Thomas says, Jim, what about a blizzard? Well, supposedly them guys are getting blizzard conditions up there. What they're calling what do they call it? A bomb cyclone. as near as I could tell, it's like an inland hurricane, but cold. They said they're going to get hurricane force winds in the Midwest, and I guess in the Northeast. You know, they're talking 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds, freezing winds, snow on the ground. That's got to really suck. I wouldn't want that. I'm too old for that shit. GRE 2057 says it's snowing in central Michigan right now as well. I don't doubt that. My mother-in-law is supposed to go up there to visit her granddaughter, I guess, in another week. Yeah, I think next week she's supposed to go up there to take a plane up. As you better hope that they can land the plane up there. Otherwise, they might be turning around coming right back. Or worse than that, she's going to be up there for 2 weeks. So you may not be able to get back until springtime. So she didn't see the humor in it, but you know. Gerald says, I love to watch the storm chasers on YouTube. Buffalo was brutal this morning. A total whiteout. Yeah, New York's getting slammed, man. It's bad. ACHB says, my daughter lives in Sault Ste. Marie. Oh, yeah. What's that, Minnesota or Minnesota, right? They have actual snow there a few feet so far this winter. I don't doubt that. Sean says there is or was blizzard warnings for Lake Huron, Georgian Bay areas. Oh, cool. That sucks. Thunder snow. That sounds like a cartoon, doesn't it? Thomas says, I hate to see a whiteout. I remember them when I was a kid up north in Jersey. We had a couple of whiteouts. It's a little different, you know. Joseph, that's racist, man. Nah, not really. I mean, what would you rather have, a whiteout or a blackout? You know, I'm not being racist here, you know. Blackouts when all lights go off at night, and you're stuck in the dark. The whiteout's actually almost as bad. You can't see shit either way. But it is what it is. I'm just glad. I mean, to be honest, I would love to see snow right here in Sebring. It probably will never happen. I mean, in 1967, the first time we came to Florida during the winter, I don't remember why we came down here, but there was snow in Tampa. Not much, but it stuck on the ground because we went to go see my aunt was living in Tampa at the time, and we drove up there, and yeah, there was snow on the ground, probably about 4 or 5, 6 inches anyway, but it was snow. Sean says there's nothing like a good snow thunderstorm. Yeah, there you go. Blackout is warmer. Yeah, probably. A blackout and a whiteout at the same time. I guess that could happen, maybe. I don't know. That's a little weird. ACHB says we get whiteouts around here a lot. Not much fun to drive in. Otherwise, snow just makes driving more fun. Well, it makes it more challenging. And I've driven in the snow. I'm pretty good at it, you know. I used to take my vacations in the dead of winter, you know. When I lived, you know, down in Naples, I usually get Christmas vacation and my regular vacation time. I'd go up to Indiana, Ohio, you know, play in the snow. I didn't mind it. As long as I didn't have to work in it, I didn't care, you know. I think if you worked outside and that would probably suck, you know. I would probably not like that at all. It was fun to play in. See, Sean says, I can remember being in Jacksonville one year for Christmas. They had a couple nights of heavy frost. Well, I went up to Ohio one year. No, it went up to Indiana. This was back in 76, 80, 1986, 1987. I'm not sure exactly, but I drove up, and there was snow on the ground in Tallahassee and Jacksonville. About 6 inches at least. And from there, it just got worse. And they do get snow up there on occasion. Not often, but they get it. Just drive your Arctic cat to work. Yeah, I never had one of those, but if I needed one, I probably would have bought one. ACHB says I have 2 Arctic cats in the backyard. There you go. I think it was 87 or 88 I was there. Okay. GRE said blizzard of 78, anyone? No, I was still down here during that time. I didn't really start traveling up north until really the early 80s on up, you know. Let's see, 78 I would have been, let's see, 79 I would have been 20. Yeah, I was only 19 at the time. I really wasn't doing any distance driving at that point. Only because I had nowhere to go, you know. And we used to drive around the state all the time because gas was so cheap. I think it was like 60 cents a gallon or something. I filled my Impala for about $6, 30-gallon tank, you know. And we drive all every weekend. We just pick different places in Florida to go hang out for the weekend. It was fun. Those were the days, man. Gerald says 77 to 78 were bad. I lived in Rome, New York. Yeah, I'll bet. Sean says I lived in Quebec for the blizzard of 78. There you go. There's James. Dundas Junction, Monterey. James, how's it going? You're late. You're late. For a very important date, right? Ah, you're never late. You're fine. Anyway, good to see you here. We're talking about snow and blizzards and stuff, and how it really sucks. They have to work in the snow. But other than that, it's not too bad. Like I said, I would love to take a trip up north, even in the winter, really. But I'm just I'm at the point where I really just can't sit behind the wheel, you know, all day like I used to. I used to make, you know, I make 20-hour runs, you know, I'd make it up there in 20 hours or less, say Indiana or Ohio, nonstop driving. Now, you know, the last time I took a big trip was from New York. That was right after I had the stroke. And I drove down by myself. It took 3 days to get down here. You know, just couldn't sit in that seat, you know, for more than six hours, maybe 5 6 hours, and I had to stop and get a motel and rest for the night. So, you know, yeah, it is what it is. Better than talking about perfume. Yeah, kind of. 4 to 6 feet of hard packed snow. That's a lot of snow. And Jerry says, on the other hand, JT, did you get your layout issues fixed? Um, yes and no, actually. I got the problem in the back solved with the derailment. I actually had a warped piece of track in there. I think I got the same problem on this corner. So I got 2 ways to fix it. I can either stick with a 4-axle engine on there. On a 4-axle locomotive, no problem. The 6-axle is the one that derails on this corner, on the inside main, but not all the time. Weird. So I think I'm probably going to replace the track. It's just a piece of flex anyway. And, you know, put another 3-foot section in and see if that solves the problem. If it does, no problem. If it doesn't, then maybe it's the loco and not necessarily the. Like I said, I started running the 4-axle on there, the smaller ones, the SD40. I think it's a 4-axle. And it runs on it fine every time. Now I got a GP9 that runs on it fine too. But when I put the ES44 on there, which is a 6-axle, comes off every time. Well, not every time, but every so many laps it jumps and that's it. I don't know what the hell's going on. No snow here in CSSR. What the hell is a CSSR? Yeah, I checked them because Tom Grassi suggested that that could be a problem, and I have the gauge here. So I checked them; they're all perfect. I think it could. I'm not sure. It's a scale trains loco, and I was really raving about those when I first got them, and now that I've had them a while, I'm starting to have issues with them. You know, so maybe they're not as good as I thought they were. So I think any future locos I buy are probably going to be Atherns or maybe even an Atlas. But I'm still leery of Bachman. I've had a lot of bad luck with Bachmans. So I don't know if I'm going to do Bachman anymore. But the Atherns I like, though. They're good loco. So, and the other one, the Japanese company, how are they? Damn it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, the Katos. I like those. Yeah, they're good. Because I'm going to get the P42 that I want to get for the elevated rail is going to be a Kato. The price is right. It's a DCC ready. That's another thing. I'm not buying any more DCC equipped locos. I'll buy the DC ready ones and put my own decoders in them because I like the Tsunami 2s. That's another problem I have with. I got the ESUs in the scale trains, and like I said, I've got one that won't let me program the road number on it. I've tried every which way possible, and it simply will not. I've even tried a factory reset. It'll reset to 3 and it works on that, but it won't work on the 4-digit road number. Now, somebody suggested I try a 2-digit road number. I haven't done that yet. So it may work with that, but that's still, if you're having a problem with it, and these locals are not that old, you know. I bought them brand new, like, yeah, 4 years ago, but I didn't really start using them until maybe 2 years ago. So, I don't know. Like I said, I gotta look at things, and I got one that it was an undecorated one I bought, and that's a SD50, either that or SD60. I painted it in my colors, the Millennium County yellow, and I was running it, and it was running real great for a while. And then all of a sudden, it derailed, and I got to it pretty damn quick, 'cause I cut the track power off almost immediately. And when I went and picked it up, one of the wheels fell off. It was so hot it embedded in the foam. What the hell happened? But the trucks on scale trains suck. I went over this before. So I'm not going to, and of course they won't warranty it because, I've had them too long, even though I really haven't. I mean, they're not old, but I bought them, 3, 4 years ago. Didn't just start. That one there, I think I only started using like last year. So it doesn't have that many hours on it, but the problem with the scale trains trucks is you can't disassemble them easily. You literally have to take the whole damn loco apart just to drop the trucks out. Then you have to cut the wires so you can disassemble the trucks. It's a stupid system. Now, Athearn and I think some of the Atlases, they have a plate on the bottom of the truck. 1 or 2 screws, you pull them out, the plate comes down, there's your gear sets. You can lube them, clean them, do whatever you need to do without removing the truck. When you're done, put the plate back on, then 1 or 2 screws back in, and you're ready to rock and roll. That just makes sense to build a truck like that. So I did find a pair of trucks that will work on my scale trains. There's a slight modification I need to do. A locating pin I have to actually grind down on my loco because it's already built in the truck on the ones that I want to buy, and they're from Athearn. They'll work, so they're $50 for repair. At some point, I'm going to buy them and put them on there, and we'll be good to go because they wanted $50 each for the trucks from scale trains. So I'm looking at $100 just for 2 trucks. Well, shit, I only paid $175 for the whole damn loco. So, and then, like I said, and the trucks are garbage. So, it is what it is. Oh, there you go. California Soviet Socialist Republic. Yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. Hey, Heath, what's going on, man? Long time no see. How you doing, man? Yeah, it's still the Millennium Railroad, Millennium County. Like I said, I was just complaining about the trucks on scale trains, locomotives. They suck. But other than that, they seem well. That and of course the decoders are kind of garbage too. I don't like ESU decoders. They do have problems with them. I guess everything has a problem when you get down to it. Oh, Heath, it's your birthday? Well, happy birthday, man. How old are you now? You're not a low fart yet. You got to be 65 for that. I made that one this past September, but what are you probably? What are you about 50 by now? Maybe late 40s. I don't know. Raymond says can't go wrong with Kato. That's true. I've read a lot about them. I like. That's why I said that the P42 that I want to buy, the DC version. Well, it's DCC ready, but it's basically DC. It's already set up to put the decoder and the speakers in, so you can put DCC and sound with no modifications. Everything is there to do it. And I think I can get one of those for 100 and actually I seen them on sale for 136 on eBay once for a brand new one, which is not bad. It's a nice looking loco. And like you said, I watched a video on it how to put the DCC with sound in there. I'm going, yeah, that's a piece of cake. It's a well built loco too, so we'll see. All right, GRE 2057. Well, thanks for popping in, and we'll see you later, man. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. And Merry Christmas to you, by the way. Well, that's my problem. I've only had one experience with a Bachmann. I bought a Bachmann steamer. It was a 240, I think, maybe, or an 042. I don't remember exactly now. It was a shorter version with the tender. That thing would not run properly even on a 26-inch, a 26 radius curve. It was supposed to run an 18, so there was something wrong with it. I didn't know that much about all that stuff at the time because that's when I first kind of got back in that HO scale. It's like, what, 6, 7 years ago. I had so many problems with it staying on the track that I finally got fed up. I sold the fucking thing. Didn't lose any money, but I sold it and said that's enough of Bachmann. So, like I said, I'm one of them guys where, you get me once, that's all you're going to get me. I don't fall for something twice. If something's junk or not satisfactory to me, I'm done with it. So that's why I said I jumped into scale trains because I thought it was a great new startup at the time. Guys seemed really nice, and I mean they were, showing off how well they were built. I mean, they really are built rather well, but there are problems with it. Everybody knows the couplers suck. They changed the coupler style lately, but I understand they're just as bad. Why not just put, the good couplers on there, which I can't think of the name of right now, but, even if it costs $1 or $2 more, so what? Build the damn things right, Get rid of them ESU decoders, put tsunamis in. It's a better decoder. You can do more with it. It's just a simple thing, and then fix the truck problem. And for me, that will prevent me from buying any more in the future. I will never buy another scale trains locomotive until they change the truck design. Only because if you can't fix the fucking things or maintain them, then what the hell good are they? You're at the mercy of however long they're supposed to last, which apparently isn't that long. They're almost impossible to lube unless you disassemble the whole thing. And like I said, that's like, probably a 3 or 4 hour job for a normal person. For me, it'd be like an all day job. And Jerry says, got a long night ahead of me with cold weather. Yeah, you do. Well, keep warm, man. Get the extra blankets out. Well, yeah, I could do that, but we'll see. It probably cost me more to ship it back and forth though than it's probably worth. I don't know. We'll see. I got really far behind there too. Uh, yeah. Well, I always do. I always do the if it's a 4-digit road number, I set it to the long CV and give it the 4-digit road number. If it's a 2-digit, then I go with the 2-digit. If it's a 3, I just generally default to 4, and it ignores the first 0 anyway. So I've not had any problems with it prior to that. So PNC Systems, how you doing, man? Good to see you. He said the drones are coming to get us. Don't worry about them. They're fake. They're not real. I was watching a video today, and they were talking about it. And I don't know if you ever heard of Squirrel Tribe or not. Her name is Michelle. She's a lot like me, but more tamer because she's on YouTube. I can't talk about my stuff on YouTube. I'd be banned for life. But she was talking about this today, and they're all freaked out. They don't know what's going on. And the Pentagon says, well, they're not a danger to anybody. They're not ours. They're not anybody else's. So that's just telling you they're not real. It's Project Bluebeam, man. They're holographic projections. That and a drone cannot do Mach 5. You just can't do it. It's not capable of, not in any sense of the word. So, they're saying some of these things are approaching Mach 5, that our fighter jets can't keep up with them. Well, bullshit. They're fake. And you're not, of course, it's illegal to shoot one down because, if you shoot at it, you won't hit it because it's not there. It's just a projection. So don't worry about them fucking drones. That's the prequel to the alien invasion they got planned for us in the near future. Because I understand they're going to try and fake an alien invasion. And there's no aliens either, but, what do I know? Heath says, I am breaking in locomotives tonight, all with these. Well, you like the ESUs, don't you, Heath? I mean, hey, look, they're okay if you like them, I mean, everybody has their preference, and I don't badmouth anybody's preference. But for me, I'm not impressed with them. I have one locator I put a Tsunami 2 in, and I've not had any problems with it. So, But it is what it is. He says, not my birthday, just John. Oh, John's birthday. Okay. Well, damn, you got us. Who started the birthday shit? I'm telling you. And he said, James, I got an unopened letter on my layout. Okay, that's a little weird. Yeah, Katie. I couldn't remember. I tell you, my mind's going to shit, man. I better get some more of that brain dust I was taking. It really does help your mind a lot. I gotta get some more of that. Let's see. James says, Heath, that letter might be an antique soon. Tom Grass says it's John's birthday every day. I thought his birthday was a couple of months ago, now that I think about it. I don't know. My birthday comes one day a year, and I don't even try and think about it too much, Not that big of a deal. I don't know. It's craziness. Heath, I gotta watch one of your shows again. I have not watched any of your shows. Well, you changed to what you're on Wednesday night now, and that kind of messed me all up too. When you were on Tuesday night, right after On Track Tuesday, it was like just watch On Track Tuesday, boom, then you. And then you changed and screwed everything all up. It's like Tom's Trains and things, He used to run on Monday. Then he was doing Monday and Wednesday. Now he only does Wednesday. And half the time I forget his show's on until after it's too late. You guys got to quit changing your damn days. I'm a creature of habit, I'm like a dog, man. Once something is there, it's got to stay that way forever. You know, it's like with a dog, it's always or never. If you play catch with your dog or fetch with your dog, he always wants to play fetch with you. He'll never get tired of it. If you never do it, then it's no big deal. But once you do it, he expects it every time. I'm the same way. So if you have a show on normally on Tuesday and you swap it to another day, well, that fucks me all up. But hey, you know, it is what it is. And I lost my cursor again. I don't know why it does that. Done this at Jim T. Third Rail Thursday at 8 p.m. Oh, tonight? Yeah, probably. I'll probably run it out at 8 o'clock tonight because I don't have a whole lot to talk about anyway. But we'll see. Railway says, people, smash that like button. What you waiting for? Heck, it's free. That's true, it is. Thanks for that, Real Artist. What was it? Go via, go home channel. Okay. Thanks for that info, James. Like, not ilk. Damn fingers. I got the same problem. Fat fingers. It is what it is, you know. So, oh yeah. Oh, Dave Thurber isn't in here tonight, but I got a Christmas card from Dave and his wife, Kathy. That was nice of him, wasn't it? And I sent him a card because, you know, didn't have a choice. But realistically, I didn't really send any cards out this year because the price of stamps. Now, normally I send out about 30, 40 cards a year, you know, between friends and relatives. And I'm thinking, shit, I'd be spending, you know, $40 in stamps for that. James says, I hit the like button hard. There you go. You can stomp on it, kick it, shoot it, knife it. I don't care. Just hit it. Hey, Stormy Sky, Dave, how's it going? Good to see you here. So yeah, it's getting expensive. It's ridiculous, you know. That's probably a rant in and of itself, but the yeah, I know there's no mail in Canada still. We won't even send anything up there. I mean, if you try, because Deb has a friend up in Canada, she wanted to mail a Christmas card to her, you know, and they ain't gonna get there. They got no mail system right now. They're all on strike. Not that, but it's not going to be the same price for a stamp either, I don't think. Gerald says Dennis of Otter Creek and Rio Grande has a premiere at 8 o'clock p.m. Central. Oh, that would have been an hour. Oh, 40 minutes ago. The Central time here would be 7, or 8 Central there would be 7 o'clock here, right? Or is it the other way around? I always get confused with that. Nothing up here is getting sent out as our damn posties are getting. So yeah, I know that's bullshit. What are you gonna do? Greedy pricks. Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. What's going to happen ultimately is people are going to stop sending letters. You know, the stamps are what, 78 cents now, I think? I don't think they're going to stop until they hit $1, to be honest. I mean, we've had 3 increases here in the States just this year alone. And then every well, we're not making enough money. Nobody's mailing shit anymore. Well, duh. Lower the price of stamps, people will mail shit. You know, you'll make your money in volume. Apparently, that doesn't make sense to anybody anymore. Volume sales. But what's going to happen is they're going to wind up going belly up. You watch, because every time they jack the price up, less and less people are going to use the mail. Can you blame them? You know. Eastern Standard. Yeah, it's an hour behind. So Tom Grace is 9 Eastern is 8. Okay, so yeah. So they'll be on at 9 o'clock then here, right? Why have email? We have email. Why send a fucking letter? That's true. I was thinking maybe even doing email cards this year. I've heard of it. I might look into it. It's not like I don't think about everybody and want to wish them a Merry Christmas and all, but, you know, money's tight. Got to cut where I can. If it isn't absolutely necessary, it ain't happening. Sean says now would be the perfect time for Purolator or UPS to hop on the mail delivery. Yeah, that's true. If they were smart, they would, as long as they could compete, lower the prices. I mean, why not? Like I said, UPS probably. Why can't they offer a stamp for, say, 50 cents? You know, they're already all over the place anyway. It's not really going to cost them anymore. So, yeah, here's a funny thing. USPS, our mail system, they ordered 50,000 of those stupid, ugly-looking mail trucks, and half of which I think are electric. I know some of them are electric. I think the majority of them are. And Trump canceled the contract. That's and that's probably why they want to jack the price of stamps up to make up. If half their fleet was electric, you could probably safely figure each one of them trucks are $100,000 a piece. And the battery life's gonna be real short on them because they run out all day every day. It's a stupid idea. Stick with gas. Well, that's true, Sean. It probably could. It is a crime to compete with the post office. It might be. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. A little protectionism going on there, right? Awesome. I don't know. Like I said, it's all weird anyway. But, the thing is that everybody keeps jacking their prices up, thinking they're going to make more money. But in reality, you make less money because people look at something and, it's like, well, this is Hot Wheels here. These are cheap. These are $1 a piece. But if you get the actual 187 HO scale cars, they're probably the cheapest one you're going to find is around $10 to $12 each. And of course the prices went up on them. They're probably 14 now, maybe 13. Every time the price goes up, you're going to go, you know what? That Hot Wheels is looking better and better, even if it's a little out of scale. Because the bottom line is, do you want to spend $1,000 on your cars and trucks for your layout, or do you want to spend $100 for Hot Wheels? And I'm talking a shit, 100 cars. For the same 100 cars in 187 scale, going to cost you, $1,000. How much money do they think we have? And it's not even a question whether you have it; it's whether you're willing to spend it too. Electric cars will not save the fucking planet. They're going to find out that there's probably all kinds of, well, we already know that mining the lithium is a problem. That's severely polluting. But there's probably going to be another aspect to that that's going to cause big problems down the road. Aside from the problems you already know about. If we were meant to use electric, we would have been electric to begin with. But no, we were meant to use fossil fuels, which aren't. They're natural fuels that are in the planet that replenish themselves, apparently. Let's just keep on using them. We ain't destroyed the planet in over 100 years with so-called fossil fuels. I don't think we're going to do it another 100. Gerald says only USPS can ship letters. Is that true? I did not know that. Huh. That's bullshit. Yeah, that's true. Dollar Tree does. I bought some of mine from Dollar Tree. Because I've got both Matchbox and Hot Wheels. I actually prefer the Matchbox because they tend to have more normal vehicles. I don't want shit with numbers and stripes on them much. I want stuff that you would normally see on the road. And you're not going to see a bunch of stock cars and other weird shit. And most of the Hot Wheels, that's what they got, Now this one here, I don't know if it's Matchbox or Hot Wheels. Can't read the damn thing. Alright, this is Matchbox. The 2016 Ford Interceptor. It's a police car. It's 1/64 scale. It's slightly bigger than 187. It's close enough to not worry about. And this, I think I got this for $1. I'm pretty sure I got this at Dollar Tree before they raised their prices. So, you know. I do like you do trees, put the good looking ones in the foreground and the cheap ones, the cheap Hot Wheels in the back. And that's true. And Gerald says, I want 40s and 50s cars. See, that's the problem. You don't find too much of that in Hot Wheels or Matchbox. They probably did make them at one time, but they're probably impossible to find now. If they are available, they're going to want crazy money for them. You might try green light die cast metals, though. They have a lot of older stuff. I've seen it on eBay a lot. Do a search, just whatever I just said. I fucking forgot already. Green light. Type in a search for green light HO scale cars or 1/64 scale cars, whatever, or just die cast metal cars, and they got tons of them. Might want to check it out. They're not quite as cheap as Matchbox, and I think they're like $3-4 each as a rule, which isn't bad, you know, not really. Like I said, paying $12-13 for a little car, you know. Plus, like I've got the it's a 1/64 scale, but it's the Florida State Troopers car. And I paid, I got the last one, believe it or not. I think I paid almost $40 for that thing. But I really wanted one, so I kind of paid the money. But plus, it was the last one. They quit making them. Then I had one that was in 1/87 scale, still in the box. I think I paid $26 for that one. And I wound up selling it because it was so much small. I don't know if even half of these things are even scaled right. It seemed really tiny for 1/87 when I matched it up with the 1/64. So I don't know. Stormy says green light are closer to 1/64 S scale. Okay. I wasn't aware of that. All right, James, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. And as soon as your mail gets going, I'll mail this stuff up to you. Whenever that'll be, someday probably. Anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll see you later. Now, like I said, you know, it's funny because, and I bought 1/64 or 1/87 scale figures, you know, men and women and stuff. 1/87 scale HO. They will not fit in a 1/87 scale car or truck. However, they will fit perfectly in a 1/64 scale truck or car. Like I can put the figures in here. Well, this doesn't have clear windows, but I bought some convertibles and put people in them. I didn't even have to chop off the legs, you know. So how does 1/87 scale people fit perfectly in a 1/64 car, but won't fit in a 1/87 scale car? There's something wrong there. Like I said, I think the scales are off to begin with, you know, to be honest with you. James says, Joe, I like my gas car. Absolutely. Sean says, have a good night, everyone, to you. All right, thanks for popping in, Sean. Have a good weekend, and Merry Christmas to you, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. And yes, I will be on the day after Christmas. Well, I started doing some of that too, Tom. It's like I said, you know, the garbage trucks and all that I'm printing now because it's stuff that you really can't find anyway, you know. And scaling them is a lot easier too. I'm actually scaling them just a little bit less than 1/64, probably like 1/70th. It's probably closer to their actual scale. So they're right in between the HO and what I guess would be S scale, and they blend in better, and you know, and you really can't tell the difference when they're all on the road together. So that's kind of what I've been doing. But there's some things too that I like to add. Like, well, as I said, you look at the garbage truck, for example. Now, at first glance, it looks pretty realistic, doesn't it? Now, I mean, you could tell it's printed when you get up close to it. But, you know, from far away, it looks just like a Matchbox or Hot Wheels or whatever. So, depending upon how well you paint it, will depend upon how realistic it looks. And like I said, because they have those that are die cast, shit, they want $129 for one. You know, which is fucking nuts. I mean, for that money, it better drive itself. Stormy says the only ones that are 100% accurate are the Auto World, and they are 1/64th scale. Okay. Yeah, I've seen them in magazines. I've never seen one in real life, though. It's like I said, though, the scale, it's even on buildings and stuff. I have bought HO scale buildings, and they were simply not right. They were bigger than normal buildings or smaller. I mean, I look at the doors, you know. If an HO scale person fits in the door, then it's HO scale. If the door is a little bit too big for that, then it's not HO scale. Or if an HO person won't fit through the door, then it's definitely too small. And like I said, I think, well, of course, remember, a lot of shit comes out of China. The Chinese have no clue when it comes to dimensions, horsepower, or anything else. They're always slightly smaller or slightly bigger than everything we do. It's the way it is. Joe says, Jim, put a Bachmann HO car next to a Roundhouse, next to a Concord. 3 different sizes, same model. Railroad car. Yeah, I believe it. So, that's what I'm saying. You know, the scales, it's very difficult. Fortunately, when you 3D print stuff, you can scale everything to what you think it should be. You know, at least to match everything else on your layout. So, you don't really have too much of a problem. Now, fortunately, like the wood stuff, the Foss kits and the stuff that Tom's Trains and things builds, they're all scaled correctly. At least they appear to be. And they're all consistent. So that's another thing, too. Like I said, you've got other kits out there that, you know, they all may be made by Walthers, for example, but they're not all scaled the same for some reason. How and why, I have no idea. Either they think we're stupid, or they're stupid themselves. Who the hell knows? Stormy Dave says, I'm an S scaler, so I know this shit. Well, no argument there. That's true. They're very short people, and they think they're tall, you know. Well, that's like their anime. Well, I don't know so much about Chinese, but Japan's anime. All the people in anime have big round eyes, but in reality, they're not. You know, they're kind of, you know, squinty eyes. And because, you know, and of course the latest one is too now that actually all the Asian women, whether they're from China, Japan, Korea, wherever, they're all getting, you know, silicone titties because they don't want to be small up top anymore. They all want to be huge. I got no issue with that, by the way. You know, but I've noticed that in the last couple of years that that's what's going on. And I read an article about it, and they said that, like in Japan, for example, and Korea, so the women there they're so Western oriented now that they feel they have to have at least a double D or bigger to compete with American women. Go figure. Gerald says, I used Bachmann to represent narrow gauge railroad lines. Okay, that's possible. And I noticed a lot of the Bachmanns seem to be a tiny bit smaller than the rest of the brands and the railroad stuff. Could be wrong. Stormy Dave says a lot of little autos trucks produced were made to fit specific size cartons. So no scale except auto world. Well, that makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised at that for a minute. Like I said, it's all about money when you get down to it. What can save us a buck? We got these boxes. They're only so big. So scale all the vehicles to fit these boxes. We'll be good to go. And that's true even with the Matchbox stuff. I got a Mini. The Cooper, a Mini Cooper. It's the same damn size as an SUV. It's not in real life, but obviously, once again, fits the package. And I got a few cars I got a Fiero that's the same length as the Cadillac. That's not possible either. So, if you overlook those things, it's not a big deal. But, if you really want to be prototypical or really scale accurate, you're going to run into problems all the way around no matter what you get. To some degree. Raymond Anthony says, Studio Ghibli in Japan makes great animated movies. I really do miss seeing new pre-Pixar animated Disney movies. I'm not a big fan of Pixar. They did it okay, but yeah, I'm familiar with Studio Ghibli, though. They do make some good anime. I watch a lot of anime. I think I watch like 15 or 18 series that I, download every week and watch them at my leisure. They got good storylines in them, Also, a lot of real life or live action Korean films are pretty good. They only have a handful of movie stars apparently because I see they always got the same people in different movies, or different series actually. Some of the series are really, really good. They don't have the gore or even really the language that most American stuff does, which I don't care one way or the other, but it kind of really reminds me of how things were in this country, say 50 years ago. Because, we had much stricter criteria for making movies and TV shows and stuff than we do now. This is not really an issue for me, but I just find that it's refreshing to watch movies that actually have a good storyline, Flashback Model Works. Hey, Flashback, how's it going? Quick hello, Jim, and chat room from David, Low Country Railroad. Well, good to see you. And we're glad you're here. Gerald says in Okinawa, my coworker's local national wife wanted to have the muscles around her eyes clipped to round out her eyes. He told her, hell no. They could do that? I don't know. I don't have an issue with it either. Not really. It's just, if that's the way you're born, then fine, if you want to, build up your tits a little bit, that's fine. And I don't care one way or the other, really. For me, bigger is better. But, yeah. But, as far as like nose jobs and stuff like that, you know what? Whatever you were born with, you're fine. And these women that get facelifts and nose jobs and chin tucks and all this other weird shit, man. Yeah. And realistically, unless you got tons of money and go to a really a serious pro, they fuck it all up anyway. My late ex-mother-in-law used to get a facelift every couple of years. Every time you seen her, she was like this. They can't lift that thing anymore. If they do, the eyes are going to be on top of your head, And it says she thought she looked better, but she really didn't. What the hell, Gerald said he told her if he wanted a round eye, he would have married. Well, there you go. That's another thing, too, Whether you're man or woman doesn't matter, but, whoever your partner is, if they got with you, they apparently love you for who you are, what you look like. Why would you want to change that? Raymond says, I'm fed up with seeing violence in movies and sex on TV. Thankfully, we still have great entertainment that's centered around those good old-fashioned values. on which many of us still rely. Well, I agree with you to a point. I mean, the gore in movies I think is ridiculous. I don't need to see somebody's heart being ripped out of their chest still beating. I don't see the entertainment value in that. I mean, by the same token, back in the old days, the black and white days, the gangster got shot 50 times, not a drop of blood. That was a little off the wall too, but I understood the concept. Now seeing a pool of blood from a gunshot victim doesn't really affect me, but seeing the gore, like their guts hanging out. I mean, I've seen this shit in real life. It's not pleasant. I mean, I don't get sickened by it or anything, but I remember seeing a guy who was in a bad car accident, cut both his legs off. He was pinned in the car. His stomach was ripped open. His intestines were hanging out. He died, later on, shortly thereafter. But it was pretty gruesome. But it's like, well, that's life. But to see that all the time on TV, no, I don't want to see that. As far as sex on TV, well, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that one. I mean, it's not like you're seeing triple X sex on TV. Not usually. It's simulated in most cases, it's supposed to be. They're wearing skin suits or something, but that doesn't bother me too much either. But, once again, only if it's in the right context. I look at the storyline. Years ago I used to watch a lot of porn. I really don't anymore. Just doesn't. After you've seen one, you've seen them all, because, this, and this happens every time. But most of the porn I was watching was stuff you can't find anymore. They all had storylines. They were good. I mean, yeah, there was sex and nudity, but it was centered around a specific storyline. So it was like you're watching a good movie, just that, the realities of life were intertwined with it. I don't know if I'm explaining that right or not, but, you know. But I mean, like you said, once again, how far do we need to go before something goes too far? And I think in that respect, you're right, Raymond. They were going way too far on a lot of this stuff. You know, I never saw that series. I'm aware of it, but I've never watched it. I don't generally watch stuff where there's mostly blacks anyway. Some things I do, but not always. All right, Joe. Well, have a good one, man. We'll see you later, and have a good weekend. Merry Christmas to you and your wife, if you have one. And we'll see you next week, hopefully. Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes, the problem we're having mostly with TV here, and movies for that respect, they're just recycling the same shit over and over again. There's nothing new out there. When I watch Korean TV or Japanese TV, even live action stuff, it's a different storyline. They come up with some unique stuff. I was watching this one, it was 20, 26 episodes of series, I think it was. I can't remember the name of it, but it's centered on this guy. He was a demon. He didn't look like one. He was, I guess, as far as one was, he was a good-looking guy. And he roamed the earth making deals with people, and then after he fulfilled his obligation to them, they had they die and he got their soul. Sounds bad, but it was done in a way where it was really cool. And it was kind of a love story at the same time. He does fall in love with this human woman, and ultimately he well, because he was, like you say, he was a demon, and they actually got married, I guess, at some point, and then something happened where he was sent back to hell or something, and I don't remember the whole thing now. It's been a couple of years. But it was an excellent storyline. It kept you wanting to watch more and more. And the way they do it, I was able to download the whole series mostly, and I'd binge watch it, watch 2 or 3 episodes a night. They were hour long, and no commercials or anything, of course. Yeah, it was really good. And there are some series that they have are really, really neat and unique. We need to figure out what the hell they're doing and start duplicating it. Because our shit's all the same. They put a different name on it, change the actors. The same storyline as the last 5 movies you watched. It's bullshit. Tom Gray says, I just changed the channel, but I don't like what I'm watching. Well, like I said, I don't watch uh, commercial TV anymore. I pretty much pick what I want to watch now, and I watch it at my leisure. I download it. So, it's kind of cool. Tom says, talent has been lost. Yes, it has. It really, well, especially now with all this shit with Diddy and all. You know, I guess I watching a video the other day, they said that they've issued over 100 warrants for arrest of a lot of famous movie stars. And of course, a lot of them left. You know, Eva Longoria, she left, went back to England. Uh, Ellen DeGeneres, her and her wife or whatever, they just left the country because they were all part of his perversion. And apparently, the government's going after them, which they should. They're all a bunch of fucking perverts anyway. Gerald says, sounds a little bit like Dead Like Me. I saw part of that. I kind of came into it late. I never really got hooked on it. But it was a pretty good show, from what I remember of it. Like I said, there's, you know, TV. I mean, our TV is really young. When I was younger, when I was a teenager and a young adult, I mean, I would not go out on Friday nights because I had a lineup of TV shows that I had to watch. And that was commercial TV at the time. If you didn't watch it, you missed it. We didn't. It's not like today where I can choose what I want to watch when I want to watch. But you know, it was a lineup of shows on Friday night. What was it? Monty Python. I watched that, and The Goodies, another English show that was kind of weird. And there was another one. I can't remember the name of it now, but I had to watch those shows every Friday. I mean, I didn't care what the hell was going on. There was a party or something. I'm sorry, guys, gotta watch TV tonight. You can do it tomorrow night, but not tonight. Those days are gone. I wish they'd had big screen flat TVs back then. I would have invested in one. But now I saw in Walmart yesterday, I was there, or day before, I don't remember which. They had I think it was it was a 95-inch TV for $1,600. 97 inches. Did I say 95? 95 or 97, I don't remember now. But I mean, the fucking thing would take up my whole wall in the living room. $1,600. They had a 65-inch for $300. Hell, I paid $1,000 for this 40-inch way back in the day. It's crazy, but the prices are coming way down. The problem is, they ain't shit to see on them. I thought they shit canned that. Because they fucked that up. The 7 dwarfs aren't dwarfs. I think only 2 of them were. The other ones were 6 foot plus. And she's Mexican or something. What the fuck, Well, Disney will fuck up a wet dream anyway. But I'm not a big fan of Disney movies. Although I've been watching the latest Star Wars series, Skeleton Crew. It's actually pretty good if you haven't seen it. I don't know if The Mandalorian's ever going to come back on. I like that show. Then there was the other one that they were doing too, another Star Wars. There was a couple of them actually, and I don't know if they're coming back or not. The whole TV schedule's all screwed up anyway. And shows that they said were canceled, turns out they weren't. And the ones that were supposed to still go on, they got canceled. So, I watched another TV show called Silo. It's about it centers around the woman. She's the chief star in there, and these people, something happened on the earth where all the land was contaminated, and they live in these, they're like 150-story silos deep in the ground, and they're like 500,000 people in each one. Turns out there's over 50 of them. I don't know if anybody was aware of the other ones or not, but they've been in there for a long time. But they're not allowed to have artifacts, like stuff from before the earth was destroyed. Well, she found a hard drive, and it had all kinds of old stuff on there, like scenes of what the Earth was like, you know, the animals and shit. That was forbidden. So when she got caught with it, she was sentenced to clean. Well, cleaning is a death sentence. They send you out in a suit that will fail to keep you protected from the outside elements. You're supposed to clean the front viewing screen, which is fake anyway, but nobody knows that. And then you just die. Well, she got out, and somehow or another she survived to get into another abandoned silo where everybody left and they all died except for one guy. It's a really interesting show. You should check it out. They're in their second or third season. I don't remember which, but it's a good show. So, hey, so I'm really big into sci-fi anyway. Um, that's really the only TV I really watch anymore. Sci-fi and anime. The rest of this shit's all garbage as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I do like they did a remake. Well, actually, Night Court. Remember the original one? So they got the judge, who's supposedly dead or whatever. They got his daughter, not his real daughter, but his TV daughter is the new judge. And the one attorney, I can't remember his name. He's still there, but he's older. It's a good show. It's funny. It's only a half an hour one weekly comedy, but it's funny. Raymond says, "Don't get me started on a Little Mermaid." Disney really, well, that too. And once again, it's not that I'm racist. I don't have a problem with black actors. I do watch some black shows. But I think if you originally have a white actress or actor in a major show, putting a black character in place of it is a mistake. You know, or a Mexican or whatever, you know. Like I said, Snow White was white for a reason. It wasn't Snow Black or Snow Latino. You know, Snow White. She's got to be white. So, like I said, you know, I talked about this before. They canceled that, unfortunately. There was an all-black show called Black Lightning. It was a superhero show, and Black Lightning was this guy that somehow or another acquired these powers. He could throw lightning bolts and electricity and shit, and that's how he fought crime and the bad guy. It was really cool. I liked it. I watched it every week until they canceled it. You know, I think it made it 2 seasons. Now I'm watching an all-black series called Wicked, something Wicked. It's about 5 black witches in modern day times. And that's a really good show. It's a good show. It's well put together. It's a little different, you know, it's not a rip off of something else. And I enjoy that, you know. Like I said, I'm not racist. I don't care who the actors or actresses are, as long as they're doing something different, you know. And I think there's that one show on, I have not watched it yet. I can never remember the name of it. The Enforcer or something like that. I can't remember, but originally it was a white English guy that did it. You know, people would pay him to take care of problems, you know. Now they got a black woman doing it. I mean, come on. You know, it's not the same. Or the latest one they got, the hell was that? The guy from, son of a bitch, my memory's going to hell. From Mayberry RFD, the star of that. He used to he was a lawyer, investigator. I can't remember his name now, but you know, he was on some years ago and they canceled him. Well, now they got a white woman playing him. What the fuck? You know? There's something wrong with that. That's what pisses me off with American TV. They can't come up with nothing new and different. Oh, let's just bring back the old stuff and put a new character in there. Maybe a different color, different sex. You know. Nobody will know the difference. Well, yeah, we will. Anyway, it is what it is. It's 8:18. Definitely signing off at 8:30. So if anybody wants anything they want to talk about, trades or otherwise, now would be the time to speak up. I don't know what I've got coming in the near future. Still haven't fixed my truck. I know you've heard me talk about it for 4 months now. putting a starter in it. Now it's too damn cold. G gauge trains. There you go. I can't afford them. I got the land for it though. I mean, I'm sitting on almost 2 acres of land here. If I wanted to have an outdoor garden railway, I could do it, but nah. I figure I got my hands full with the indoor stuff. Still cool though. Of course, big money in that stuff too, though. That's the problem. The bigger the gauge, the bigger the bucks. I know Tom Stranger Things, he was talking about doing a outdoor G gauge layout out in his backyard. I'm sure he will at some point in time. I just don't know when. That'd be cool to go over and watch anyway. Gerald says, I got my 280 Athearn tonight. Cool. Very good. Yeah, I only got the one steamer. I gotta do something. I gotta get that back in service too, but I got some decoder issues with it, but nothing serious. But yeah, I'm really held up here on the second level and the expansion outside. I think until I get that shit done, I don't know. I'm gonna way behind. We were talking about that early, Dave. They're not real. You know that, right? They're holographic projections. I believe this. It's called Project Bluebeam. You can Google it. It's a secret, not so secret, military setup that they were going to use to either fake an alien invasion or fake the return of Jesus Christ. I think more likely they're going to do an alien invasion. It's all fake, but it's going to look real. And they're so good at this, they got the sound to go with it. Everything looks real, but, and you know, we were talking about this because one of the Pentagon generals said, well, it's not a problem because it's not ours and it's not anybody else's. So what's he really saying there? It's nobody's because it's not real. You know, there's no fucking aliens, so we can pretty much discount that out. And if there were, why would they be using drones with international lighting things on them? You know, because they have the green and red lights on the proper sides. Why would aliens have that? Why would they have any lights at all? That was a real question. If it was something top secret, you know, now people have been coming up with some weird ideas that there might be radiation on board, you know, some sort of dirty bomb, or deadly viruses might be on board in vials waiting to be dropped somewhere. But I think it's all fake, and I think Jersey is the test ground for it, and maybe this is just a test to see how, and people are freaked by it, you know, but nobody's attempted to shoot one down because that's a felony. Well, you can't shoot it down if it's not actually there, and that would be the best way. If somebody had a 22 with a silencer, for example, so they wouldn't get caught shooting it, and took a couple of shots at it, and you don't hear a ping or drop it, you know it's fake, you know. So I think that's the only way we're really going to find out what the hell's going on with that. But I firmly believe that it's fake. It's not real. It's a holographic projection. But it looks real. Not only that, but how do you get a drone to do Mach 5? Can't do it. That's 5 times the speed of sound. Speed of sound is what? 700 mile an hour? 742 mile an hour, I think. You know, you're looking at 4,000 miles an hour, something like that. Ain't happening. Not on a drone. And the fact that they could stay afloat for 7 hours or longer, that's unlikely too. Dave wants to know how you like your new loco, Gerald. Cool. He says it came with an economy soundtracks decoder. Those aren't too bad. So we thought that was a possible. Well, it has to be. Because a radar isn't picking it up. Now, even if it's made out of plastic, you're still going to get a radar, you're going to get a radar feedback from it. But our F-15s can't catch one which seems unlikely. F-15 does what, Mach 2? All right. They won't shoot them down, maybe because they're probably in on it anyway. Who knows? And the fact that radar's not picking up an image. How's that possible? You know there's metallic in it. There has to be. There's some sort of propulsion system, probably an electric motor, I would assume. Even if it was a gas motor, you still got to have metal components that would reflect radar, or LiDAR for that matter. And yet they can't get a radar image on it. And they're trying to convince us that Iran has a mothership out in the Atlantic that's launching these things. Bullshit. I'm telling you, they're fucking with us again. So when the aliens start attacking, or you see a dogfighting in the sky between two different alien species, it's bullshit. Don't worry about it. Tom Grace, I just got an alert on my phone for drone flying over my area. Nearby, I looked out and saw nothing, just more fake news. Well, yeah. And they are lying about a lot of it anyway. They can't get a radar images because they are flying below the line. Well, yeah, that's true for ground-based radar, but the aircraft, the fighter planes, they have radar that will see them, and regardless of their altitude. So that's not going to get it, And they said some of them things are flying at 5,000 to 7,000 feet. Well, was it anything over? Was it 1,000 feet? Is radar will catch? It's below that, below the deck. So they say. So yeah, that's not it. Gerald says it's still in the box because it arrived after the show started. Looks very cute in the DRG Bumble paint scheme. Looks like it has classification. Oh, that's cool. I'll take it out and play with it, huh? There's no such thing as aliens. No, there is not. I guarantee you there's not. We're it. You can't leave the Earth because, there's a dome over us, a firmament. No man has ever left low Earth orbit, ever. We've never been to the moon unless the moon is inside the firmament, but I doubt that it's still attainable to get there. I did a wise guy show on that a couple miles last week, and pretty much pointed out all the flaws with everything NASA's telling us. So we're not going to go there tonight, obviously. Anyway, it's almost 8:30, so I'm going to wrap this up so that Gerald can play with his new train. Because, I'd be chomping at the bit to get that out of the package and get it on the track, man. Dave from Stormy Sky says, that is a cool one, Gerald. I model that error in HO scale. Cool. And Chuck says, okay, Jim, great show again. Thank you. Take care all next time. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. And we'll see you. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Be the day after Christmas. Right? Is it next week or is it the week after? I'm not even sure now. I don't know. I got 2 weeks till Christmas. Sorry. So next week will just be a regular show. The week after that will be the day after Christmas. Anyway, have a good weekend, everybody, and you need to set up a track to run it. That kind of sucks. Well, you better get cracking then. So anyway, like I said, it's almost 8:30. I'm putting the outro up now. Don't forget to flip off the signal man. He's still there. What's it been, 2 years now? Yeah, they could have put up a whole new signal thing 10 times over already. Anyway, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you next time.